An automatic cat feeder is a must-have for anyone looking to keep their cats fed while they're away, whether during the day or during short vacations. They are also useful for doling out precise portions to cats on specific diets, or automating morning feedings, so your cats stop waking you up and instead start waiting by the feeder for breakfast. There are many products available to choose cheap cat feeder, each with different characteristics, benefits, and prices. To help you make an informed decision, I did extensive research, read tons of reviews, and compiled a list of the best cheap cat feeder from reputable brands. After much research, I found these products much helpful for people like you. If you want to know about the price and other information, be sure to check my description. So without any further delay, let's jump into the video. Number 1. Whisker Feeder-Robot. Our testers appreciated that the Whisker Feeder-Robot had a variety of intuitive feeding options and the most useful app of any feeder tested. The feeder scored especially high marks for its features, effectiveness, timer accuracy, and portion control. The design of the feeder robot is simultaneously futuristic and friendly, though it's definitely on the larger side, so buyers should be ready for it to take up a fair amount of space. Despite its bulky dimensions, the feeder robot tapers to a 9x 11.25-inch footprint. This makes it feel a little top-heavy, though not enough to be concerned about cats knocking it. Overbashing it with a 10-pound sandbag didn't budge it, so neither will your cat. Setup out of the box was easy, taking us about 15 minutes, including downloading and syncing the phone application by scanning a QR code on the back of the feeder, which is available on iOS and Android. It's easy to dial in precise meal times and serving increments with the feeder robot's robust settings, through which you can dispense up to a full cup of food as frequently as 8 times a day. A dispenser that uses 1/4 cup increments is already installed in the feeder robot, but you can swap it for an included 1/8 cup dispenser that provides more precise portion control, though this reduces the maximum single serving to a half cup. There's also a setting that dispenses just enough food to keep the bowl full, with the feeder robot checking its level every 6 hours. If your cat doesn't overeat and you don't closely monitor servings, this gravity mode ensures that the feeder isn't dispensing an overflowing amount of food while you're away. The feeder robot's reservoir can hold up to 32 cups of dry food, though anything other than small, round kibble will likely need the included hopper insert. It's designed to more effectively funnel food into the dispenser, but also reduces the total capacity to 25 cups, still a substantial amount of food. The app is great, one tester said, noting their general disdain for having to download an app for every new connected product, before describing the feeder robot as an exception. The notifications provide peace of mind, so I can spend less time worrying about my cats while I'm away. This same peace of mind is enhanced by the included backup battery, which can continue to run a feeder program, even if the power goes out for up to 24 hours. In addition to notifying you with a push notification at feeding times, the app also allows you to check food levels, build schedules, and tap a button to remotely dispense a snack-size serving. While we've yet to spend enough time with the feeder robot to gauge the usefulness of the app's more in-depth features, they provide unrivaled insights for the cat-owning data nerd. Tracking feedings over time, pulling out daily averages, and providing other insights that can be exported to a CSV file ready for Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel. Number 2. PETLIBRO Automatic Cat Feeders. The PETLIBRO Automatic Cat Feeder is our former best overall pick, and while it's still a reliable automatic feeder with several different configurations, it's no longer our favorite. It is, however, a full-featured automatic feeder available at a very reasonable price. While the Pet Safe Eat Well 5 meal, recommended elsewhere in this roundup, is marginally more affordable, it has more limited features, whereas the feeder from PETLIBRO has all the bells and whistles. Described as looking like a sleek coffee maker by one tester, the PETLIBRO has a power adapter and a battery backup, which uses 3D cell batteries. It has a decent interface for programming a feeding schedule on the LCD screen on the front of the device. You can also record a short message to draw your pet to the bowl for feeding time. Also included is a slot for a desiccant bag to keep kibble dry. However, since PETLIBRO recommends changing the desiccant every 2 weeks, it may not be worth consistently buying filter refills, unless you live in a very humid climate. Testers were mixed on how difficult programming the PETLIBRO could be, with some wishing for an option to set the feeder using AM/PM times, instead of a 24-hour clock. But while we may be more used to the AM/PM split, programming with a 24-hour clock eliminates any ambiguity, and makes it less likely you'll set the device to feed at the wrong time. You can schedule up to 4 feedings a day, which can each be customized to serve your preferred portion size. However, you can't set a different schedule for different days, such as weekends. The PETLIBRO will run the same schedule every day. Our testers were also split on the food reservoir, which requires both hands to open. It's meant to ensure that your pet can't gain access to the kibble in the reservoir, but testers found it aggravating to open and refill. Cleaning was also a bit of a chore, with multiple components that had to be washed by hand. But the biggest downside to the PETLIBRO automatic cat feeder was its stability. It was the only feeder that was knocked over and spilled food during our stability test. To be fair, we were walloping feeders with a 10-pound sandbag, so we still think the PETLIBRO will hold up well under most feeding conditions. But if your cats are especially rowdy, or if you plan on using the feeder for a dog, you might want to look elsewhere. Still, this is an overall excellent feeder, especially for the price. While we are highlighting the more affordable model as our best budget pick, we also tested and can recommend the PETLIBRO automatic dog and cat feeder, 2.4G Wi-Fi enabled, which is nearly the same feeder, but with Wi-Fi connectivity and an included app. It also features a stainless steel bowl. While the connected version's app didn't impress as much as the software included with the Whisker Feeder-Robot, our testers still found it a useful added feature. I definitely recommend it, our tester said. I like the app component and being to control the feeder remotely with your phone. You can also get notified if something has malfunctioned. There are other optional configurations of this feeder available as well, including a larger capacity 6-liter version, and a version with a semi-opaque reservoir that makes it easier to see how much food is left. Number 3. WOPET 6L Automatic Cat Feeder. While our testers found the WOPET 6L automatic feeder trickier to set up on a Wi-Fi network than our best overall pick, anyone looking for an app-connected automatic feeder will find it a viable alternative to the much pricier Whisker Feeder-Robot. Described as a little tricky by one tester, the WOPET automatic feeder insisted on a 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi connection rather than 5 GHz, but setup headaches were otherwise minor. While not quite as slick as our top pick, the WOPET app was easy to use, with an attractive interface. The app allows for detailed control of feedings, and is able to schedule up to 15 meals a day. You can adjust the portion sizes dispensed in 5-gram units and build weekly schedules. For example, you could set the WOPET automatic feeder to dispense meals during weekdays, but not on weekends. The app will track when feedings are dispensed, and notify you if it runs low on food, or if a meal is not dispensed because the bowl is already full. The feeder is wide and sleek, with a semi-opaque hopper that makes it easy to see how much of its substantial 6-liter capacity has been filled. But the minimal design may go a little too far for some, since you mostly have to rely on the app to operate the feeder. There are only 3 buttons on the feeder's front interface, one of which allows you to dispense a portion of food manually. While we found the WOPET 6L automatic feeder to be reliable when testing scheduled and overnight feedings, in our first test, it only dispensed 5 pieces of kibble, instead of a full serving. In subsequent tests it dispensed the correct amount on time, but it was a worrying introduction to a machine that must be trusted with our pet's health when we're away. We suspect that this isn't a chronic problem with the feeder, and was only caused by newly loaded kibble not settling properly into the dispenser chute. We found WOPET feeders to be consistently reliable when reviewing previous models, but felt it was worth noting in this review. The WOPET has several other useful features, including a battery backup to ensure your pets are fed even if your house loses power. You can also make a recording of your voice calling your cats to their mealtime, a feature included in several other feeders we tested. Number 4. CatMate C500 5-Meal Digital. Similar in design to our portable pick, the PetSafe Eat Well 5-Meal, the CatMate C500 Digital 5-Meal Dog and Cat Feeder uses a rotating, multi-compartment tray, rather than dispensing food through a chute. This makes it ideal for semi-wet or wet food, since you can load each compartment yourself and schedule when it's revealed to your cat or cats. But wet and canned cat food spoils more quickly than dry food, and should be refrigerated after opening, making it harder to set out in advance. The CatMate C500 solves this problem by including 2 ice packs beneath the rotating tray. While this makes the CatMate C500 useful for preloading wet food that might otherwise need refrigeration, it's still not a great option for serving wet food when you're away. We found that the 2 ice packs kept the food cold overnight, but weren't long-lasting enough to extend past 24 hours. Cat owners who are likely to find the CatMate C500 useful include anyone who is sick of their cat waking them up, and would rather the cats adjust to waiting by the feeder for their scheduled mealtime. It could also be useful for scheduling a serving of food if you are going to be at work late. The C500 can be programmed for up to 5 scheduled mealtimes, with each compartment holding 1.25 cups of food. Programming is straightforward, but one tester advised that users pay close attention that they're distinguishing AM and PM to avoid a missed meal. The CatMate C500 is also easy to clean, since the top cover and the food tray are dishwasher safe. Number 5. Faroro 7L Automatic Cat Feeder. The Faroro 7L automatic cat feeder holds more dry cat food than any feeder we tested, other than our best overall pick, and even the Whisker Feeder-Robot has a smaller capacity when using its insertable hopper, making it the best choice if you would prefer to refill your feeder as infrequently as possible. Setting up the Faroro was easy, with instructions available in multiple languages and a decent LCD interface. The Faroro is shaped like a white tower, and unlike many other feeders, its programming buttons are on top of the device instead of the front. This is a convenient location that makes it easy to see the controls, but our testers felt a little let down by the touch buttons, which were a little mushy and small. Still, these were minor design flaws in an overall robust package. The across multiple feedings, we found the Faroro to be reliable in both timing and portion sizes. It allows for detailed scheduling of up to 4 meals a day, and can serve portions as small as 2 teaspoons. Plus, it includes features like a battery backup, so you can feel secure your cats will get fed when leaving them home alone. That's all from my end. I make helpful videos daily, so do subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification. To get more information or if you want to know product price, please check my description. For any kind of problem, please comment below to help you further. Life is short, so enjoy every bit of your life with our cool products, as it's going to make your life much easier. Thanks for watching, have a great day.